All right, well, I want you to bite me right now.
Really?
I want you to bite me, Robert.
Where?
On my neck.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 unhinged talk show moments.
Until NBC yanks us off the air, we can pretty much do whatever we want.
For this list, we'll be confirming that those crazy, shocking, or wild talk show moments you thought must have been a fever dream did in fact happen. What's the most unhinged thing you've ever seen on a talk show? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. Everybody Gets a Car. The Oprah Winfrey Show. On September 13th, 2004, Oprah took her audience on quite the ride. She teased that one lucky person was going home with a new car. Everyone was handed a small gift box, one of which she told them would contain the winning key.
Inside one of these boxes is a key. Do not open it yet. Okay, everybody listen up. Here is the deal. If your box has a key, you will be the last person today to get one of those cute little G6s.
However, when they were instructed to open it, it quickly became clear that, well, understandably, the crowd went wild, just as any of us might if we were among the almost 300 people who just received a brand new Pontiac G6 sedan. We don't know what was crazier, the prize or the audience's response. But those screams continue to reverberate to this day. Number 19, Kanye's rant. The Ellen DeGeneres Show. By now we all know that Ye has a tendency to derail, well, all sorts of moments. Take this interview for instance. Initially, the rapper seemed reluctant to participate, opting for short and closed-ended responses.
Do you want more children?
Maybe.
Does Kim want more children?
Perhaps.
However, Ellen seemed to flip a switch when she brought up some of the times he'd been unabashedly outspoken about his opinions. This prompted Kanye to embark on a long stream of consciousness style rant.
Don't tell me about being likable. We got 100 years here. We're one race, the human race, one civilization. We're a blip in the existence of the universe. And we constantly trying to pull each other down.
He talked about his visions for the future, the influential people he discussed them with, and his ventures into the fashion world. He concluded by apologising for his realness. Even a seasoned pro like Ellen couldn't bring this interview back on track. Number 18, Drew Barrymore's dance. Late Show with David Letterman. The actress turned talk show host is something of a free spirit. This was all the more true in her youth, when she was enjoying being young and unattached and just having a good time.
Love, yes, like I'm in good energy and I felt good.
Yeah.
Before this appearance on Letterman, Barrymore had attended a nude art performance club and, let's just say, really immersed herself in the experience. Since it was Letterman's birthday, she gave him a sneak peek of the kind of entertainment visitors to the club might expect. Hey, sometimes spontaneity beckons, and she answered enthusiastically. Needless to say, this moment took on a life of its own. The pair even reminisced about it 25 years later, this time on Barrymore's show. Number 17, Andy Dick can't keep his hands to himself. Jimmy Kimmel Live. In 2007, Jimmy Kimmel had Andy Dick and Ivanka Trump as guests on his show. In a very weird display, the comedian refused to stop touching the socialite despite many warnings.
Andy, don't touch Ivanka.
Oh wait, did I say I was single? I meant I had a boyfriend.
Although Ivanka chose to laugh it off, anyone could tell she was incredibly uncomfortable. Kimmel stepped in repeatedly, telling him to stop, but when Dick didn't listen, security got involved.
It's time to go. Kimmel drags him off the set with the help of security.
Kimmel later revealed that this particular guest always leaves him feeling a little on edge. He said, "You have no idea what he's going to do next." The video was put in an even worse light when in 2018, Dick was reportedly facing legal repercussions for sexual battery. Number 16, Kathy Griffin strips. Late Show with David Letterman. Comedian Kathy Griffin famously loves to push the envelope. Remember when she rang in the New Year topless?
This is midnight, the stroke of midnight?
At the heart of Times Square.
All right, take a look. Naked in Times Square.
Oh, my Lord. What are you kidding me?
We just saw Lady Gaga.
Are you freaking kidding me?
While recounting what led to that moment on Letterman, she gave the host and his audience a live-action replay. We hope she had better luck getting out of her gear on New Year's Eve, because watching her struggle to undress in the interview setting is nothing short of awkward.
Oh, my.
I think you have to get the hug.
Okay.
All right, wait.
You're going to need some pliers.
I know.
There you go.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
Oh, my.
By the time she fights her way out, we've almost forgotten why we're now staring at a half-dressed Griffin anyway. Love her or hate her, there's no denying she knows how to create unforgettable TV. Number 15, Larry King and Marlon Brando duet. Larry King live. Brando was typically known for his rebellious or intimidating characters. He also generally avoided the interview circuit. However, audiences got to see a whole other side of him when he made an exception for Larry King and CNN.
Now we're going to show you a side of Brando you may not know since Guys and Dolls. We're going to do a tune, right? What tune you want to do?
After a delightful and informative 90-minute long interview, the pair ended with a song as promotion for Brando's book, Songs My Mother Taught Me, and sealed it with a kiss.
Gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Darling, goodbye.
Goodbye.
It was certainly unexpected for these two, and a somewhat unorthodox end to the interview, but weirdly endearing all the same. We wonder if Larry King had ever been called darling before that. Number 14, Top 10 Ways the World Would Be Different If Britney Spears Were President. Late Show with David Letterman. No, this isn't the Empowering Women Can Do Anything segment, it would probably be today.
Please welcome Britney Spears. Britney?
Hi, Dave.
Instead, it features the pop princess in a black bikini, showing off her comedy chops as she promises free pie and Diddy for VP if she were Commander-in-Chief. Sure, Britney delivers her lines with great comedic timing and really sells it, but something about this whole setup makes us cringe.
Number 5.
Every presidential news conference would feature costume changes.
Look, we're all for a president with a good sense of humour and some decent policies, but this bit is just weird. Then again, if Britney has a decent plan for a coherent fiscal strategy, we say bring it on. Number 13, You Don't Turn Your Back on Grace Jones. The Russell Harty Show. In 1981, the model turned actress and singer went on The Russell Harty Show to promote her latest album, Nightclubbing.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
No, your accent is a bit foreign.
The host was seated between two guests, which unfortunately meant turning his back on one to talk to the other. Jones didn't like this poor setup and let Harty know it.
Well, don't turn your back on me anymore.
I can't look at you. Now, hold on, just a minute. Just a
Move
minute.
your chair back a bit or something. Gee.
In her defense, it's definitely rude having your back to someone who's supposed to be part of the conversation. Eventually, she had enough and lashed out. In a 2006 poll shared by the BBC, this moment came out on top as the most shocking TV chat show moment of all time. Number 12, David Letterman chews Jennifer Aniston's hair. Late Show with David Letterman. The year was 1998, and Jennifer Aniston was America's sweetheart thanks to her stint as Rachel Green on Friends. Everything was pretty standard to begin with. Letterman asked questions, she answered. All normal stuff.
It's not as bad as I think people assume it is, but you know, there's always those odd encounters.
But then he interrupted her story about weird encounters to effectively add another to the list. He sidled up to Aniston, put his hand on her neck, leaned in real close, and put her hair in his mouth.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
She was clearly uncomfortable, and we're still grossed out every time we see the clip, as if handing her a tissue is going to make it any better. He then claimed that her yell scared him. It was so inappropriate and just downright insane. Number 11, Geraldo Rivera's nose gets caught in the crossfire. Geraldo. This episode of Rivera's eponymous talk show featured a debate between black civil rights activist Roy Innis and some white supremacists.
I came here prepared to be very angry, but I feel very good because I see a cross-section of Americans here, and they're in good shape.
It went about as well as you might imagine. One of these supremacists, John Metzger, used an offensive term, causing a fight to break out. Everything descended into chaos, and even audience members got involved. At one point, a chair was thrown, which hit Rivera in the face, resulting in a broken nose.
Only slightly the worse for the wear. We're back. The skinheads have been, or the racist skinheads have been cleared out of the building.
Amazingly, no other injuries were reported, and the host opted to not press charges. Still, to call this incident nuts would be a colossal understatement. Number 10, Jerry Lawler gets physical. Late Night with David Letterman. In this segment, Letterman invited performance artist and wrestler Andy Kaufman and WWE star Jerry Lawler to air their grievances with each other on his show. Kaufman came out in a neck brace, supposedly due to an injury he sustained during the pair's match.
Do you still need that neck brace on there?
Yes.
Yeah?
I do.
Are you in a lot of pain?
Well, I'm not in nearly as much pain as I was.
He expected an apology, but the pair sparred with words instead. Eventually, things got even more heated and turned physical. When they returned from a commercial break, an incensed Kaufman set off on an angry tirade, requiring much bleeping. More than a decade later, it was reported that this interaction had actually been staged, which honestly doesn't make it any less bizarre. Number 9, Conan OBrien blows his NBC budget. The Tonight Show with Conan OBrien. In 2009, Conan OBrien took over from Jay Leno as host of The Tonight Show. However, the following year, due to some behind-the-scenes drama, NBC decided to boot O'Brien out of the primetime spot and reinstate Leno.
It is, it's looking like this is our, could be our last week. The good news is that until NBC yanks us off the air, we can pretty much do whatever we want.
He was understandably furious, as was Jimmy Kimmel, who never missed an opportunity to take shots at Leno.
You did an entire show as Jay.
I did, yeah. Yeah, it was, it's fun to be Jay, it's easier.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
It was almost like he had a personal vendetta. But Conan got the last laugh with an excellently executed revenge plan that forced NBC to dig deep.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Total price tag for this comedy bit, $1.5 million. Sorry, NBC.
And he didn't skimp on the details. This bit might have cost NBC a pretty penny, but the level of savageness is priceless. Number 8, Abel Ferraras' odd appearance. Late Night with Conan OBrien. O'Brien is a seasoned pro when it comes to interviewing celebrities, so it says something that he called film director Abel Ferrara his worst guest. From the off, Ferrara made it clear that this was the last place he wanted to be.
Is it just me? I mean,
it's a lie.
And no matter how hard Conan tried to get the conversation flowing, the director mumbled through half-formed answers while holding a cigarette.
We're gonna get those Stallone subtitles in here, right?
Meaning what? What does that mean?
I didn't catch you. You're talking very lowly.
Luckily, O'Brien is a master of his art and handled the situation brilliantly, keeping the audience entertained while moving things forward. At one point, Conan started questioning what was real, and we can't say we blame him. Number 7, Tom Cruise is in love. The Oprah Winfrey Show. You know that feeling when you're so in love you want to shout it from the rooftops? Most of us just stick with the feeling and don't actually follow through. Not Tom Cruise, though.
Listen to me. Let's focus here. Okay. You've never had this kind of feeling before, right? No? Obviously not.
I honestly, I haven't.
He was so head over heels in love with then-girlfriend Katie Holmes that he just had to let everyone know. While he did admittedly stay clear of rooftops, he could barely sit still during his interview with Oprah. And at one point, he even jumped on the sofa.
You know, Katie once told 17 magazine, yes!
Apparently, it was one of the first videos to go viral, and instantly became a part of pop culture history. Still, it feels as bonkers to watch today as it did in 2005. Number 6. Tyra Banks fakes rabies. The Tyra Banks Show. We know sometimes talk shows have to up the ante for ratings, but why Tyra Banks decided to pull a prank where she tells her audience she has rabies, we'll never understand. She starts by showing the tale of the unfortunate bite, but soon enough, she's foaming at the mouth and barking, which is really more like a series of loud screeches. Yeah, the only thing barking here is whoever thought this was a good idea. A close second to this bonkers moment was when Banks put on a terrible English accent to ask Twilight actor Robert Pattinson to bite her neck. Props to him for playing along, honestly. Number 5. A fainting hoax. The Phil Donahue Show. On January 21st, 1985, The Phil Donahue Show was hit by an unlikely outbreak of numerous audience fainting spells. Donahue feared this was due to an overly warm studio, mixed with nerves from appearing on live TV.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm feeling a little...
Well, I know. I felt that way many...
Eventually, the studio was cleared and everyone was sent home. Only later, it transpired that this had all been a prank pulled by infamous hoaxer Alan Abel. Deborah Harmon, one of the actors reportedly paid to faint, revealed that the trick was a protest over what Abel believed was the declining quality of television.
The intent is to amuse, to provoke, to give people a healthy kick in the intellect, and make them laugh a bit.
Well, we can't speak for all 80s TV, but we can say this episode was certainly memorable. Number 4. Did Johnny Carson play a part in a national toilet paper shortage? The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. We know what you're thinking. Carson wasn't on air in March of 2020. No, let us take you back to the toilet paper shortage of 1973. The Tonight Show writers took a statement made by a congressman out of context and turned it into a joke, suggesting that the basic household necessity was in short supply.
Do you know what else is disappearing from the supermarket shelves? Toilet paper. Ha ha ha, you can laugh now.
Now, this wasn't the only shortage in America back then, so people were already on edge, and Carson quickly learned why telling roughly 20 million viewers that there was a toilet paper shortage was a huge mistake. Panic buyers flooded stores and demolished supplies.
The false alarm sent Carson's audience of almost 20 million running.
I'm used to being able to go when I want to, but suddenly I think I'm going to have to start curbing my habits.
The host later had to ensure audiences that this had all been one big misunderstanding. Number 3, the guy who got married, Jerry Springer. Many colourful individuals appeared on this talk show throughout its long run. Arguably, one of the most unforgettable was the man who married a horse.
He's been together with his wife for 10 years and married for the last 5. But before we talk to Mark, let's meet his wife. Please welcome her to the show, Mark's wife.
Yes, you did hear that correctly. Springer later explained that he was never told what each episode would be about, so all he knew for that particular episode was that this man and his wife were having issues with their neighbours. Naturally, Springer was just as surprised as the rest of us when they brought out the wife and she turned out to have 4 legs.
I look at the next name on the list and it says Pixel. Well, let's bring out Pixel. And out comes this horse. Now, what?
Are you putting it together at this point?
No!
We don't need to tell you the plethora of reasons this union is both unhinged and illegal. Even better is hearing Jerry recount his experience of the events. Number 2, Joaquin Phoenix goes method. Late Show with David Letterman. We get it. The publicity circuit can get a tad repetitive and tedious, and Joaquin Phoenix notoriously isn't a fan of it. However, on this occasion, viewers thought the actor had gone completely nuts. He could barely form a sentence and claimed he was transitioning into a hip-hop career.
When will we see that take off? When can we, because we want to be there.
Well, I'd love to come on the show and perform.
It was truly bonkers, leaving many speculating over what was fueling this odd behavior. It turns out it was all just a shtick for his upcoming mockumentary with Casey Affleck called I'm Still Here.
Well, we wanted to do a film that explored celebrity and explored the relationship between the media and the consumers and the celebrities themselves.
And he isn't the only interviewee who went full method on Letterman. Crispin Glover's commitment to his bit practically had the host storming off. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. A surprise proposal, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. We wonder if this is how she always imagined her future husband popping the question.
Hi, what are you doing?
You marry me.
Jason. Oh my God. Baby.
Jimmy Fallon ruffles Trump's hair. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Was he expecting it to fall off, do you think? President Barack Obama talks Obamacare between two ferns with Zach Galifianakis. Didn't you hear? All policymakers share important messages through this comedian.
Zach, you need to get that checked right away. You need to get on healthcare.gov because that's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, David Letterman reveals his blackmail scandal. Late Show with David Letterman. This debacle had so many twists and turns that it's almost impossible to untangle it entirely. In 2009, the late-night talk show host shared that someone was trying to extort him for $2 million after discovering his sexual relationships with female employees.
The creepy stuff was that I have had sex with women who work for me on this show. Now, my response to that is, yes, I have.
What followed was an extensive monologue where the host described what went down and how it was resolved, all while still injecting his unique brand of humour. In fact, Letterman's storytelling was so compelling that it somehow distracted everyone from the fact that he'd just confessed to workplace misconduct. They even applauded him.
And would it be embarrassing if it were made public? Perhaps it would. Perhaps it would, especially for the women.
The whole unfolding of this story was insane from start to finish.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.